Feeling myself, I'm 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 feeling
I'm with some hood girls looking back at it and a good girl in my tax bracket.
Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to do a story time. I saw a comment about it and I thought that it would be a good idea to do a story time on my abortion, as well as just telling you guys like my experience with it. Just a little bit of a disclaimer. If you are against abortions, you're probably not going to like this video. I'm just being honest. Everything I'm talking about is just my experience. And I feel as though I can help females who may have never had one or you're thinking about getting one. And I just want to share with you guys my experience, and maybe that can help you in what you may be going through or what you may think about doing. I got my abortion back in 2016. Prior to me getting pregnant, I really didn't do too much thinking about abortions and just about pregnancy altogether and what I would do if I were to get pregnant. I have a period tracker on my phone to this day, and on my period tracker, I was about 10 days late on my period before I took a pregnancy test. Although my cycle isn't the exact same day every month, my period tracker kind of was pretty much on point with when I was supposed to come on my period. So when I was 10 days late, that was the first indication that I was pregnant, and I have an extremely heavy period. I'm pretty sure if you follow me on social media, you know that because I talk about it a lot. But my period is pretty heavy. She don't mind showing up. Like my period, she gonna make her entrance every month. So the first indication that I was pregnant was when I was 10 days late. After the fact, I had got like a cold, if at least it felt like a cold, and I got better from the cold. And then like 2 days later, I felt the symptoms all over again. And I thought that was strange that I was sick and then I got sick again. And I didn't have an appetite to eat. Like, I did not want to eat, but I was still eating because y'all know I'm going to eat regardless, period. At the end of the day, I am going to eat. But I did not have an appetite to want to eat. So with those three things together, I was like, okay, you probably pregnant. And I was scared to take a pregnancy test because I didn't want to find out that I was pregnant. At the time, the person that I was with, we were not in a good place. We were like broken up. We had been together at that point for about a year and a half, and you know, when everything was going on, he and I were not really on the best of terms. We were actually broken up while everything was going on. We had been going through things for about a month or two continuously before that happened. I was really close with his sister at the time, so me and his sister were spending a lot of time together, and she knew about my symptoms. She's younger, she's like a year younger than me. She knew about my symptoms, and she was like, I'll get the test, Kenise. It's probably like 13 days now that my period is late, so it's about, my period is like 2 weeks late, and I was really nervous. So she got the pregnancy test, and I took it. And when I took the pregnancy test, I didn't even look at the results. I think at that moment, you know, I kind of knew that I was pregnant. Like, I didn't even look at the results. I took it at her house, which was their house. They lived together because they were brother and sister. And I was already there with her. So after I took the test, I was like, you know, hey, meet me in the car when you can talk. So I just put the test back in the box and I just gave it to him. I didn't even look at the results. I just kind of knew, you know, that I was pregnant. So I gave him the results, and when I gave it to him, I just started crying. Like, I was in shock that I was pregnant. He was very supportive. Even though we were at a terrible place, he was like, you know, I'm here for you and we going to be good. Like, even aside from, you know, what our relationship is right now and how things are going, we're going to be okay. So, you know, after that, we had went and got some Ritas, and just to kind of like think about the situation. Now, after the fact, even though I didn't really do too much thinking and talking about abortion prior to me getting pregnant, I kind of already knew off top what I was going to do, and so did he. We didn't talk about abortion prior to this, but we both knew that we wanted to be married when we had children. At the time, I was 19 and he was 20. He had just turned 20. But we kind of already knew what we were going to do. So that night, I had to tell my mom because I wasn't about to go to just any clinic. I wasn't about to just go do something without telling my mom, because I knew that she was going to steer me in the right direction. So mother's intuition is something crazy, because I didn't even have to really tell my mom. When I told her, she was like, I knew it. Like, she knew. And she cried, of course. And, you know, after the fact, she basically just said, if you decide to keep this child, I'm letting you know that it's going to be hard, but you can do it. She basically just let me know, like, you know, whatever decision you want to make, I'm here for you. If you decide to keep it, I'm letting you know now, it's going to be hard. Whatever decision you make is going to be hard. She let me know that whether you decide to get an abortion, adoption, if you decide to keep it, it is going to be hard. But I knew, you know, what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to get an abortion just because for when I was young, I was only 19 years old. I'm still young, but I was young. I was 19. My relationship was not at a good place. And I did not want to raise my child in a household where the relationship is toxic or that me and the father aren't together. So, and then I wasn't married. Like, those three factors together made my decision about me getting an abortion. And I really didn't have to do too much thinking after that. So I called like the next day, and you know, I scheduled my abortion, and I think I had to wait an extra month. So by then it's like the end of May, beginning of June. I had to wait a whole nother month. I think you had to be you had to be far long enough to get it, I think, because I think there are abortions that you can get really early on, but they just told me, I don't know if that was the next available appointment or I had to be, you know, a certain amount along in my pregnancy to get the abortion. But I made the appointment like the first week of June, and my appointment wasn't until the first week of July. So I was about 2 months pregnant when I got my abortion. So it's weird because even though I was already feeling the symptoms, after I found out that I was pregnant, I feel like the symptoms came on even harder. The next week after that, I was pretty okay. But then the week after that, I couldn't get out of bed. So on top of me not having an appetite, I had zero energy, and the scent of everything was bothering me. So my pregnancy was really depressing, you guys. I know a lot of people in their first trimester, they're really sick, but then other people in their first trimester, they're okay. For me, I know now that when I do have children, I'm pretty sure that my first trimester is going to be hell. My mom said that she was the exact same way, and so was my grandmother, that when we're pregnant, we pregnant. Like, you can tell, you know, that we're pregnant. So after that, we didn't really have to have a conversation. We just kind of mentally decided that we were back in a relationship. He was working every day, and I couldn't work because I didn't have any energy. I was just in bed all day. The only thing that I had a taste for was things fruity. I constantly had like a nasty taste in my mouth, and I constantly felt like I needed to vomit, but I never threw up. Like, I never threw up, but I felt nauseous 24/7. And the only thing that kind of took the nauseousness away was things that were like fruity and juicy. So I drank a lot of ginger ale, and I sent my mom to Rita's to get me the big quarts of the Italian ice because the fruit just took like the nasty taste out of my mouth, but I did not feel well. I felt like I had a stomach virus. That's honestly what it felt like. I didn't want to eat anything. I didn't have an appetite for anything. I was nauseous all the time. When I did eat, all I ate was chicken boxes, which is strange because that's not something that I get on the regular. If I'm going to get a chicken box, I'm gonna get like chicken tenders. There's only like 2 places in Baltimore that I will get chicken boxes from, and it's Erman's. If you're from Baltimore, you know what's up. I'll get an Erman's chicken box, and I'll get America's Best Wings. That's it. But as far as me going to like Stoko's and you know, I don't really do chicken boxes, but I was eating chicken boxes and Pepsi. Another indication because I like Coke, not Pepsi. But when I was pregnant, I wanted Pepsi, not Coke. It was weird. But the whole month was very depressing. I watched everything on Netflix and on demand within like a week. So after a week, oh my God, I was so bored. My boyfriend would come see me some days after work and spend time with me. But I was very depressed, you guys. I didn't have the energy to go anywhere. I was sick. So I was pregnant. I wasn't sick. I didn't have an appetite for anything. It just was a lot. So it's time for my abortion. It comes to the day of my abortion. And of course he took me. Someone had to be there to pick you up because you can't drive after you get an abortion. I'm pretty sure because of the anesthesia they put me on, but they made it very clear that someone had to take me home. So he took me there. We were in the waiting room for about 30 minutes before it was time for me to go in the back. For those of you who are worried about cost and stuff like that, for me, my insurance covered it. All I had to pay was less than $20. I think I paid like a $19 copay, and that's with my insurance. In the waiting room, I didn't feel any type of way. I'm pretty sure some of you may be thinking like you don't want to go through with it because you feel like people are going to look at you or that people are going to judge you. And in the waiting room, the place that I went, everybody was there for the same thing. So there was no energy in the room that made you feel like people will look at you. Well, people wouldn't know what you were there for in the first place, but everybody was there for the same reason. So I had to go in the back 2 times, and this is what upset me. I thought that he was allowed to come back there with me, but he wasn't. And that really freaked me out. I didn't like that. I don't know if it's the same everywhere, but he wasn't allowed to come in the back with me, and that made me really, really, really nervous, and I didn't like that. So I had to go back there twice. The first time I went back there, I think they drew blood, got my weight, and it was just like normal stuff, and I came back into the waiting room. The second time that I went back there to get my abortion, I'm going to be real with y'all, I didn't even know that I was about to get my abortion. Like, I know it sounds crazy. I knew what I was there for, but I didn't know that I was getting an abortion until I was done, and he was like, okay, it's done. Like, I didn't even, like, it was such a quick process. I was just like, damn, like, that's it. I was expecting, like, I don't know what I was expecting, but I don't know. It was just very quick. So when I went back there the second time, I laid on the table, and they put the IV in my arm. And I didn't know at the time, but I know now that the IV that they put in me was the anesthesia. And I'm not throwing any shade at my doctor. I'm not saying that he wasn't doing his job. All I'm saying is when I was back there about to get the actual procedure done, I didn't know, for one, that what he put in my arm was anesthesia and that I was about to go to sleep. And I didn't, like, it just happened so quick. Put it in my arm, and it was crazy. I didn't know what I had gotten. I didn't know. So I laid on the bed, and he was down there. I remember hearing, I do not want to scare anybody, I'm just giving you guys my experience. I laid on the bed, and I remember hearing like cling, cling, like the sound of the tools touching each other, like cling, cling. And next thing you know, he was like, okay, close your legs. And I sat up, and I'm be real with y'all, I do not know if I fell asleep. I don't think I fell asleep. It happened, I'm be real with y'all, it felt like the whole procedure was under 60 seconds. Like, I felt like he put it in my arm, I laid down, he opened my legs, touched me, and then I was getting up. I don't know if I fell asleep for a minute or 2 minutes, and he did it while I was sleeping. I don't remember falling asleep. Like, I just remember laying down and then getting back up. Like, it happened so quick. It could have been 5 minutes that he was down there. I don't know if I was woke the whole time and I was just so high off the anesthesia. I didn't remember when I got up what had just happened. But it was very, very quick. So I got up, and he sent me into I think it was like called like a halfway room where the women, like, we relaxed. It was very mellow in there. The environment was really nice. All the lights were like down low. We all sat in these really big, comfortable chairs, and it was just different women, and we had to sit in there for a while until we felt well enough to walk. I remember feeling like tired and sluggish, and they told me that I was going to have cramps, and I did feel the cramps. So I sat in there for like 30 minutes, and then I got up. And what I liked is we didn't have to go back through the first door that we came through. They sent us out in a different area, which I felt was nice, because some women may feel ashamed after you get an abortion and you don't want people to see you. Like, everybody's experience is different. So I really like that they sent us out a different door that we came in. It was very discreet, and they were very just nice with how they handled us in the room. It was down low. It was very soft and relaxing in there. They were very, very nice. So what's crazy is the second you get an abortion, your pregnancy symptoms stop. I know to some people that may sound like, well, duh, bitch, what you thought was going to happen. But I don't know. I had never been pregnant before. So I didn't know what to expect after the fact. I just know that as soon as the baby was out of me, it's like the child was never there, because my body felt normal again. I came on my period the exact same day. When you get an abortion, that like starts your new period. You're going to bleed. And that's like your new start date for your periods. So my appetite came back. As soon as we left, we went to McDonald's, and it was just fine after that. The whole day after that, I slept the rest of the day. I ate, I was on my period, and I slept. And then after that, it was like I was never pregnant. So after the fact, initially the next couple of weeks were actually very, very easy for me because I didn't like feeling confined to my bed and not being able to eat. So after I got the abortion and my appetite came back and I had energy, I went back to work, I could eat again. So I felt good initially after abortion. I didn't regret anything. I still don't regret it, but initially I didn't feel bad about getting an abortion, and because my life felt normal again. You know, it was very depressing being in bed for, you know, damn near 2 months. So initially I felt good being able to go back to work, and I just moved on with my life. It hit me twice that I got an abortion, but it hit me way later. The first time that it hit me was December of that year. So I got the abortion in July, and in December it just hit me out of nowhere. We were riding, we had moved in together by then, and we were riding to go get dinner, and out of nowhere I just bust out crying. It hit me because I just imagined myself, and I looked down and I was like, wow, if you would have kept that baby, your stomach would be like out to here right now. And it wasn't that I wanted to keep the child or that I regretted getting an abortion, because even in that moment I didn't regret it. It was just sad because I realized, like, wow, you would have been a mom. Like, you would be a mom right now. Your stomach would be out to here. You would be about to give birth in a couple of months. So that moment in itself was just it was difficult for me, honestly. And I cried, you know, he rubbed my back. It was like, it's okay. We'll have kids when it's time for us to have kids, or whatever the case may be. And, you know, I got over it. That was just the first moment where I was just like, wow, like I really did have an abortion. The second time that it hit me was in February when we broke up, because we actually broke up around the time that the baby would have been due. For those of you who know, the relationship that I was in was extremely abusive. That was one of the reasons that, you know, the relationship was over. And it was just, I thought about that because I'm like, wow, right now I would be about to have our baby and our relationship is ending. And that's when I realized that I made the right decision, because I would hate to be tied to someone for the rest of my life that is not good for me and that's not healthy and that is not doing me right just because we have a child together. That's really sad, because when we broke up, like, we didn't have to talk. We had to talk for bills, but if we decided we wasn't going to talk for bills, I literally could have moved on with my life and never talked to this man a day in my life again. But I realized, like, wow, if you were having a child right now, you would have to talk to him forever. Like, he would not be going anywhere. And that thought alone made me realize that I made the right decision. Nevertheless, I don't regret getting my abortion. However, I don't want to have another abortion. Just my experience as a whole, I still want to wait till I get married to have children for a lot of reasons. When you're young, not even just when you're young, when you're in love, you may think that you're going to be with someone forever, but that's not always the case. And I'm well aware. People always say, well, if you get married, you can always have a divorce. This is true. However, the amount of security that comes with marriage is not the same as the security that you have calling somebody your boyfriend and your girlfriend. Usually when someone marries you, they plan on spending the rest of their life with you. Even though divorce does happen and separation does happen and breakups do happen, it's more likely for two people who said, hey, let's be boyfriend and girlfriend, okay, to one day decide, I want to be boyfriend and girlfriend no more, okay. Divorce and marriage is a lot that goes into getting married, and there's a lot that goes into getting a divorce. So the chances are less likely of the relationship ending once you're married to someone, rather than just calling somebody your boyfriend and girlfriend. That's a 2-minute conversation. You want to be my girlfriend? Yeah, I want to be your girlfriend. All right, baby, we together. Just that simple. When you get married, it's a process. You think about that. You go to marriage counseling before you get married. Like, it's a process. So you kind of a lot more sure about this person than you are just deciding, hey, yeah, I want to be your girlfriend. I want to be your boyfriend. Just the same when you get a divorce. It's not as simple as saying, I don't want to be with you no more. Let's delete each other off social media and go our separate ways. When you get a divorce, you have to go to court. You live together. So it's just a lot that goes into it when you get married. So the chances of you getting a divorce or a relationship ending when you're married is less likely than it is when you're just boyfriend and girlfriend. So for all the people who say, well, if you get married, you can get a divorce, duh, I know that it's just not as high as a possibility of two people just saying they want to be boyfriend and girlfriend. So with that being said, I still do want to get married when I have children. As far as birth control, I am not on birth control. That's just me being honest with you guys. I'm not on birth control not because I don't want to be on birth control. I'm not on birth control because it's not good for me. And I'm not going to say it's not not good, because to some people, they can be on birth control and it doesn't affect them. I've tried 3 different types of birth control, but I've been on birth control 4 times in the past 6 years. It does not work with my body, and it's not good for my body. And the reason why I say again is because some people can be on it for years and they'll be fine, but some people, I'm really hormonal and it just doesn't affect me the same. Of course, I'm pretty sure it's preventing pregnancy if I was to get on it, but the amount of side effects that I get with the different birth controls that I've been on are extreme compared to the average female. I'm pretty sure it's because I really do have a heavy cycle. I'm almost 100% sure that that's the reason that birth control affects me the way that it does, but that's why I'm not on birth control. I don't want to mess up my body to the point where, as though when I am ready to have children, because I cannot wait to be a mom, but when I am ready to have children, that the birth control has just caused so many complications that I can't. Like, I know the chances are very unlikely, but I would hate, like, the thought of it just breaks my heart to not be able to have children because I was on birth control for years and years at a time. So that's why I'm not on birth control today, but I do not want to have another abortion. I can't sit here in front of this camera and lie to you guys and say that I will never have another abortion, because I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell y'all that, like, oh, if I was to get pregnant today on a Marvel, what I would do. I don't know. You don't know what you're going to do until you are in that situation. I just know that I don't want to have another abortion, but I do know that I don't want to have children until I get married. And I know y'all thinking, well, bitch, what precautions are you taking to make sure that you don't get pregnant? Prayer. That's just the honest to goodness truth. I'm not just shooting and, trying to go get pregnant, but at the same time, I'm not on birth control for legitimate reason. It's not because I'm just being irresponsible and I'm like, oh, I don't want to be on birth control. It just doesn't work well with my body. But I do want to have children. I just know that marriage is something that needs to come first before I do that. And I just got my whole ovaries in God's hands at this point, because I explained to y'all why just birth control isn't for me. Like, this shit just doesn't work for me, and it does not work with my body. So I'm just trusting I just don't get pregnant. That's just the honest to goodness truth. Like I said, I'm not just shooting in these soldiers, and I'm not just trying to, get pregnant, but I'm just praying ain't no slip ups. I will say this though. The last time that I got pregnant, I was not being careful in the slightest bit, if you get what I'm saying. Like, I'm not about to give too much details on what I mean. If you know, you know. But I'll just say that for the 6 months before I actually got pregnant, I was not trying to not get pregnant, okay? I was being very irresponsible for somebody who knew they did not want kids at that moment. I just was not trying to, For those of you who are thinking about it, the advice I can give you is, for one, don't do what someone else wants you to do. And don't make your decision based off of feeling like you'll get judged. And that goes either way. If you want to keep your child, keep it if you know that you can take care of it. If you don't, there's adoption, there's abortion. There's plenty of people who can't have children and would love to adopt. I know a lot of people are against just giving their baby away. But if you feel like you don't want to have an abortion, but you're not ready to be a mom, there are people out here who really, really want to have children, who can't have children. So adoption is another option. Don't do what I do based off of what I did. I made the decision for me because that's what I wanted to do. And I just wanted to do this video to share my experience with it. And hopefully it can help someone who may not know what they want to do, or maybe making a decision based off of the wrong things, because I know your mom can be in your ear, your significant other. Like, I'm appreciative that my mom was supportive no matter what decision I made, and she wasn't in my ear like, oh, you better keep it, or oh, you're not ready to get an abortion. I'm glad that my mom was supportive, and I'm glad that my significant other was supportive at the time. It is your body at the end of the day. Yes, males do contribute to it. However, you have to hold the baby for 9 months. And in the event that he does not want to be there, the child is going to be with you. I'm just saying. So don't let someone make a decision for your body, regardless of how he contributed. That's just how I feel. If you feel like, it's something that you guys should decide together, that's your prerogative. But me personally, my advice is, it's your body. Yes, he contributed, but it is your body. You will have to go through the abortion if that's what you want to do. You will have to go through 9 months of holding a baby and labor if you want to keep it. So if you want to listen to his suggestion or what he wants you to do, cool. But the decision needs to be up to you regardless of your age. You have to put your big girl panties on if you're young. You have to put your big girl panties on and make the decision that is best for you, not for anybody else, and not what you think anybody else will want you to do. Make sure that you make that decision for yourself and do research on it. Good research, because a lot of people who are anti-abortion, it's a lot of videos that will make abortion seem terrible, where you get an abortion when a baby like 7 months in you and stuff like that. So if you're going to do research on, getting an abortion, make sure you do good research. Maybe talk to people who have gotten them. I talked to my mom. Talk to your doctor about it. Don't go online and go on a hunt fest and look at a whole bunch of videos, because that stuff will mess with your head. A lot of it is from people who are anti-abortion, so it's made to look not appealing. It's made to look not make you want to get it, okay? So I wanted to share my experience. It was not painful. I got cramps after the fact, but cramps were no worse than the cramps I got during my period. As a matter of fact, they weren't even as bad as the cramps I got, when I am on my period. So if people are telling you it was going to hurt, it didn't hurt for me. There are different types of abortions, so talk to your doctor, talk to people who have gotten them, and just do your research and make the best decision for you. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. My prayer goes out to anyone who may be in a situation they don't know exactly what you want to do yet. My heart and my love goes out to you. Make the decision that's best for you. If you're against it, that's fine. If you're for it, that's fine as well. Do what's best for you, because it's your life. And a child that you're bringing into this world, that's a really, really big deal. Raising children, I don't have children, but raising a human being is a big deal. How they turn out is going to be based off of how you raise them. So just think about that. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below what you think. Give this video a thumbs up, please. And I will see you guys in my next one.